Hey, what's poppin', man? It's your boy Big Sauce, and you watching the Concrete Genius podcast, man. I can't even speak because this is a real honor right here. I want to look at the camera. We looking at a legend in the flesh, man. I say that humbly. You talking about somebody who's impacted so many lives in Indiana. When it comes to AAU, we talking about families, organizations, coaches, everything. It's just amazing the platform that he gave me, trusting me when nobody else would have to stand on the sideline. I mean, and let's not get into what you lately talking about, man. We talking about Mike Saunders Jr., Kevin Easley having an offer in the ninth grade to IU. We talking about Cush, man. We talking about Javon Tracy, Kenny Tracy, J.J. Loud, man. We talking about Nationals in Memphis and DC, man. We talking about a brotherhood right here. So, with no further ado, man, Mike Saunders, how you doing?
Doing good, brother. Appreciate you letting me on. My man Sauce McKenzie, aka aka many things. You know the way we came up together, brothers. I got to show support to my man, of course. You know what I mean? I just try to stay relevant, man. You know how to do. You got to stay relevant.
Well, you've definitely been relevant. You got the number one player in the country currently, Xavier Booker. Booker was able to keep his composure. His family was able to do what they needed to do. What was that evolution like, man? You know, you were OG in the game. How does it feel?
Man, it was exciting. It was exciting to see his growth. I think again, it goes back to just a reflection of what we built the program on. When you talk about, my son, the Tracys, the Higgins, the Kevin Easleys. Remember Kevin Easley when we first got Kevin Easley, he was a post player that wore goggles, and he just posted up, and we were like, no, you got to get a mid range game, you got to put the ball down, you got to do this, you got to do that. So I think our mentality in regards to allowing kids to showcase their talent has continued to roll into this current group of kids that we just coached. So I think again, it's still another example. And I know you've kind of been voiceful about that, even with your son. Like, hey, just because my son is 6'5", he's not a power forward. He got to be able to handle the ball. He got to be able to really showcase his skill set. And again, I just think that's the mentality that all of us mentors, coaches, whatever you want to label us as, should have. Don't box these kids in. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, Xavier Booker exemplified that. And I think he showed, like, you give a kid some confidence, man, and you challenge him. But most importantly, you make a commitment to get to know the kid and know the family. It makes it easier. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the part that, you see this AU stuff now, man, and these kids are just a number to some of these guys. They don't take the chance. They don't take the time to really get to know the families and their background and really understand them. So, yeah, you might get the top ranked, third ranked, whatever ranked kid coming into the summer, not realizing the stuff that goes into what makes him the type of player that you kind of visually see. But that's what we do. We don't, look at rankings per se. I mean, it's definitely a blessing for all the kids that's been ranked. But in the beginning of the process, like the process we're going through right now for the next season, we looking at parents, man. We looking at the kids. How's he doing academically? How does he interact with his peers? Because that's what it's about. You can't really do your job. You can't really do your what you want to do and all that if, you know what I'm saying, you don't have the backing of the parents and really know what you're promoting.
Yeah. And how do you, I mean, how do you navigate all this, bro, with being an independent program? Because a lot of people will say, because once your success started happening, then they say, oh, well, he got this money. Well, it's 900 NBA dudes got teams out here, bro. And a lot of them make a lot more than George. So where are your players at?
Right. But John, that's the thing though. Like here's what I learned. Here's what I learned. I refuse to let anybody do, even coming up with George Hill as my godson. And again, I coached George back when he was in middle school, high school. You feel me? So we didn't have an NBA player backing us. You know what I'm saying? So like, but our relationship grew, and he felt like paying it forward. And I think like at the end of the day, when you know the vision for these kids and the person that's backing the kids, and you have a guy like George Hill that's like, look, man, it ain't about who's ranked what when we get them. It's about how we can help them with the resources that I didn't have growing up. So when that is your mentality coming up, you know what I'm saying? You gonna win. You gonna have the success because you know what the vision is long term. The vision is not to win Peace Jam. The vision is not to win 3 stripes. The vision is to help these kids get a free education. You know what I'm saying? And if the person that's funding your program has that same vision, then what's the pressure? Yeah, there's a lot of NBA dudes, you know what I'm saying, that do sponsor teams. Shout out to them, but they shitty like after in turn. Oh man, we didn't win Peace Jam. Oh, we didn't get this kid, that kid. You know what I'm saying? And you see that, like you don't see a commitment to the kids. You see these guys wanting to be on the sidelines if they make it to the championship, want to be on the sideline. You feel me? That's what they want. They want to add to their clout. But in the reality is, how many of these same dudes that have these NBA guys that have these 17U, 16U programs have the same kids they had in elementary school and middle school? They don't. I know that because the dudes that we got this year, they were trying. Our kids would send us screenshots. Hey, look, so-and-so trying to get me to come to the game. You feel me? I'm like, damn, they got 2 kids from Houston already. They got 2 kids from India already. But they want you because they feel you can help them win whatever circuit they on. So it ain't about the kid. You feel me? Yeah, it's about the kid. They know that kid gonna make a little money and they can push it towards stuff like that. But it ain't whatever prep school they affiliated with, stuff like that. But nah, if it comes to like, are we really doing this to help kids? You know what I'm saying? Then that's why you see a lot of NBA dudes that do it, and you see a lot of NBA guys that do it and stop doing it. You know, it's a tough balance.
Now, I know you, of course, and I want to say this clearly for the podcast. If I'm Snoop, this is Dre. Hey, it ain't no me without him, baby. A lot of dudes can't pay that kind of homage, but the reason I'm a good general is because I was a good foot soldier.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people don't know I started with George Hill. Hey, Mike, y'all need anything, man?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you want some Burger King, man?
Sure.
Hey, who she talking to, man? They yelling at our parents, Mike. You don't know me, but
yeah.
Hey, like I earned my right on the set. I got better, and you turn an entire North Central Panther League in the George Hill Academy.
Isn't that crazy? That's kind of wild, man, when you think about it. And you know them high school, anything affiliated with high school is so political too, bruh. But when you have a mentality where you don't care what people think and you don't worry about no repercussions, you're gonna push. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to push that limit. People look at the politics of what I did through Indy Hoops, through North Central, and my son didn't even go to North Central. Half the kids ended up going to North Central. But yet they try to. But yet when the high school season be hitting, what do these high schools do? Try to get kids from out of district.
Right.
How to recruit these other kids. But yet you mad if a brother kind of brings in his own soldiers to put that stamp on the state. Because that's all it's about. Then was that right or wrong? Hell, I don't know. But our whole mentality back then was we wanted to 365. 24/7 make the state of Indiana fear any kid that was being coached by us. Whether it was you, me, Tyrone Tracy, Higgins, all you had to do was see 3 or 4 George Hill kids on the team, and you was like, oh, shoot, we in trouble. The goal was to strike fear into people. It wasn't about win no game by 2. We was trying to beat you by 100. We was taking pick. We was in the 2nd, 3rd grade, John, scoring 100 points. Bro. We remember we had a team. Remember we was being a team in the field house, 76 to 0, and they stopped the game. We taking pictures.
And I just want a quick interlude. I want people to know. Listen, This ain't now when everybody got cell phones. Like
No.
this is when they looked at you crazy with facial hair if you left Marion County. So
Yes.
we was getting cursed out, been people
Yes.
45 to nothing at halftime. This man was like, "Hey, just don't argue with him, John. Just keep beating the hell out of him."
Keep beating the hell out. You know the hey, what we used to say? Hey, you know the mission. You know the mission. That was it. They knew the mission. We weren't. But we had to knock down the door.
Yes, sir.
We couldn't, because they weren't just gonna open it for us. We had to knock down the door, and I learned that through the Mike Petersons, the LaSalle Thompsons, the Tony Staffords. Like I knew that coming up. You know what I'm saying? And I had George Hill backing me, so I knew I didn't have to sell out to nobody. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't like how we played, you didn't like us, fuck it. We'll go to Chicago and play. We'll go to Detroit and play. We'll go to Maryland, you know what I'm saying, and play the MIT. You feel me? We go and we in the hood in the YMCA's playing with third graders, getting cussed out. You know what I'm saying? Like it was something that had to be done. And I think when you think about it, man, I don't even know who was even doing it like that when we was coming up. I think once we got 5th and 6th grade, that's when, Teague, they kind of had their teams and they've done an unbelievable job. I think Game Time kind of came around. Dre Davison started doing a great job. But no, man, it was just a movement, man. It was just a mentality.
Yeah, yeah. And you being humble, man, because see what people don't understand is like a lot of times you'll be like, John, I'm with every fucking thing you saying.
Yeah.
We just gotta handle it on the court. Just tighten the 22 up. Just don't even argue with them.
Yeah.
And so I want to say this because you're being humble, right? A lot of these organizations started from either George Hill kids or people leaving George Hill. Like I know mine did. So let's give flowers while people here. Let's not wait till motherfuckers in Crown Hill and tell my man he helped me too. Nah, like me, I'm right.
It's kind of crazy, boy. Damn, I hope I ain't Crown Hill anytime.
Nah, me neither. But what I'm saying is people don't never want to give a person their flowers. And I always be the first to say, you know what? Man, we used to be in Atlantic City, bro, and the rim used to be bent. And you'd be like, you know what, fuck it, John, we gonna win. Don't argue with these niggas.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know. But I'm gonna say this, John. I'm gonna just be 100. Like there's a lot of dudes, man, DeAndre Davis, the Guns. I mean, we talking about a different culture, a different era.
Yes, sir.
So there is a lot of love, man.
It's beautiful now.
I mean, Donovan Barnett, man, yesterday. Just called him up and said, man, I miss you. I love you, my brother. How you doing? Like, there's a lot of dudes, man, that's and I still got the Higgins, the Bradys, the Tracys. Like, I still got the main people that I came up with. But honestly, man, like, the dudes I came up with through all this, like, there's still love. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a new group of coaches that I done found a way to kind of get intertwined with, that I face different challenges every now and then to kind of navigate through, because social media has kind of really crept in a lot. But no, man, I think the people that I really, I know has also had a big impact from a competitive standpoint, from a brainstorming standpoint, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been there, man. But I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? I don't have Instagram, Twitter, Like, I might hop on Twitter. For the most part, my brother runs Twitter, but I might hop on there, to talk about offers, you know what I'm saying, from a basketball standpoint. But I don't really, like, be in that platform, you know what I'm saying? So it's just different, man. It's just different.
It's different. And most definitely salute to all them brothers. Like, all of us came up out of that mud. So once we realized we was in the maze, like me and Gunn, like, that's my brother. Like, Dre, we check on each other now, because then you realize, like, man, we trying to bite each other's head off.
But back then it was war, you know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I'm saying? Back then, we fighting against Game Time, we fighting against Teague, and we were just young parents trying to navigate a system that was put in place for us to hate each other. Like we felt like only one of us could win. They're not gonna let George Hill, EG10, Teague, and whoever else is a minority get into Like, so we had to beat each other up before you talk that high school shit. The Nike contracts, the Adidas contracts. So we fighting. Meanwhile, they navigating and putting that wedge. Not only us as an organization against another minority organization, but they also putting wedges in our teams, pulling our players because we're showing an imbalance or a lack of like knowledge of how to get your child to the next level. You see what I'm saying? So that's why nowadays, or more recently, it was so easy for somebody to go to one of ours and say, "Hey man, here's goes a bag of gear, come play with us." You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I mean? Like he been helping you all your life, damn near. He can't do no more for you. Come with us.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But you don't already put them little wedges. You've already got the high school coach that got the hidden agenda that's nudging them to a certain organization. You see what I'm saying? So to us coming up, we felt that pressure because we felt like, damn, they ain't gonna let all of us win. Come to find out, look at us. Look at us now, 2022. George Hill's still in the NBA. Eric Gordon's still in the NBA. Jeff Teague just left, just retired from the NBA, I'm assuming. Ain't none of us got no deal. Now we done impacted probably more kids from a youth down. I know Teague probably got a hellified elementary, middle school program. I heard Gordon does too. But again, we putting all this into the kid, all this into the kid. And then when it comes to high school, it's like, they can't do no more for you. You got to be on this platform. You got to be here. And it's just a system that's been in place for a long time, man, that, you know, we were fortunate enough to navigate, you know what I'm saying, these last couple of years.
And shout out to all those organizations, all those brothers with the programs, because, you know, shit, I play for all of them. And I'm honored to know them. Like, you got to navigate these relationships. I always was big on whatever we go through as black people, we still got to, hey, man, you know, my son still got to go to college. So at the end of the day, we have to find a way to maintain these relationships. So, you know, from your expertise, with all this going on, the talent you've had, what's been the biggest obstacle for getting that sponsored deal? Because the talent's been there, bro, for 10 years.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
The problem is, man, I don't know if it's quote unquote a problem. I just think, man, in Indiana, man, there's already systems in place. There's systems in place that we can't navigate. And again, man, I don't have. I mean, Mike Fox, Chris Byers.
That's my guy.
I look at Chris Byers as a mentor. Like, he knows that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Todd Hensley. I mean, anytime, you know, there was some type of support that he could provide for us as an organization. Chris Ponce. I mean, Jamal, all them dudes have been 100. You know.
Yeah, Ryan Owens. I rock with
Ryan
Owens.
Owens, yes.
Yeah,
Don't get it like. And again, these dudes were there. I watched from a distance. Remember, when they was doing what they're doing and just getting the goons. My kids was young, but I'm still watching and learning because you got to learn and watch. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I wasn't learning to watch to take what they got. I'm learning to watch like, shit, it's Indiana. Everybody can eat. Everybody can eat, man. We all can make it work.
All of it.
But the system, man, they got the jump. They got the deal. They got the jump, and they got it in a system where it's like they can't have what we have, and it's cool. Y'all won that. You feel me? Like, and I have no problem with that. But it's like I learned too, but being with Under Armour, like some of that stuff, man, they tell you what to wear, who to play, when to play, where to go. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like, you know, even with George, it was kind of like, damn, is it really all worth it? You know what I'm saying? Is it really, at first they told us when Lil Mike was coming up, and we had Easley, you know, it was like, okay, you don't have no top player. If you want a deal, again, it's information given to you that at the time you really think is some real shit, but it's all bogus. It's all bogus. Man, if you got a top player, you know what I'm saying, you'll get on. Man, if you got a this, you'll get on. So shit, what, this year, Booker's the number one player now, but even last June, he was one of the top players, the top player in the state. And we had Joey Brown, and we had Hooks, like we had Sheridan, like we had players. But it wasn't, it wasn't enough. Now it ain't about having ranked kids. It's about, do you have a gym? You see what I'm saying? We ain't got no gym. Now it's about, do you sell merchandise? So it ain't about the players no more. So now some of these companies like Under Armour, they don't give a shit if you have the top 5 of the top players in the country. If you ain't selling no merchandise for them, we ain't even gonna talk to you. If you ain't got no gym, we ain't even gonna talk to you. Which, hey man, they got their right to do it if they want to do it. I'm not mad about it, but again, you got to navigate that stuff. You got to understand. Like I don't really get on Facebook. That I don't do the Facebook stuff, not like that. But my partner Chris had a little post about Booker, and I think somehow, some way, Miles Colvin got into the conversation. And, still people giving shout outs. Then a Grand Park dude hops on, is like, oh, his dad did a great job ducking competition. When did Grand Park become a competition? Because you on the Under Armour, like what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? What's going on here? You got a deal because you have a gym and you sell merch. Which I'm not mad at you. Again, hey, you earned it. Hey, it takes a lot of money, a lot of investments, a lot of smart decisions to earn that. But let's put stuff in its proper context and quit trying to take away from what we doing over here as minorities. This man, Colvin, he did the best he can with the resources that was provided to him. He didn't have to take his son and say, you know what, in order for you to be able to play at Purdue or to make the USA team or to make the NBA top 100, you got to go play for this program. You got to go play for this. He didn't do all that. We should be commending him for doing that. Not saying, oh, he's done a great job avoiding competition. No, a good damn well, you ain't got one player that can see that boy. But he done a great job avoiding competition. So what are we doing? Like, so that irks me, because that's another example of these people being put in positions where they're always trying to control everything. They're always trying to dictate everything. They want everything. They want everything. They don't want to give us nothing. If Joey Brown or Sheridan Sharp or Xavier Booker or any of these kids and any that want to get seen, you gotta play for this program. You gotta play for that program. They all link together. People don't even realize, like, there's some type of new system, and I might be speaking, I might be off to some other shit. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think there's like something in place where all three of them networks all work together. They all scratching each other back. And at the end of the day, if you become a problem to just one of them, you're a problem to all three of them. Because again, they're looking like you can't give certain people certain things because they will destroy us. So we got to band together to make sure you never let these dudes in that door. And at the end of the day, man, you just get tired of trying to get in that door. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it my way. I'm gonna get with these parents. I'm gonna get with George Hill. I'm gonna get with, the powers that be and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're committed to, and we're gonna grind for your kid. We're gonna maximize the information that we've gathered. And we're gonna see how it finishes out, and I think it's worked good for us, the last 3 years since we left Under Armour. You know what I'm saying?
And that was after winning the national championship.
Yeah. I mean, again, John, it's crazy because, like, again, I won a national championship. Your son was a part of a national championship with George Hill. Like I said, Lil Mike and I won in the 7th grade. Every major tournament coming up, the MITs, the King James, all that shit, we won that. You feel me? Under Armour Association won that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, and I know you had asked me that, like, what are your, what are your accomplishments, things like that. But you start to realize at the end of the day, man, you have to accept, you have to make sure that the vision never changes. And that is for these kids to get scholarships. So, if I feel like, oh yeah, we won this circuit or that circuit, but I look at these kids and they don't have nowhere to, you know what I'm saying? They don't have no offers, no interest, not even no interest. But I'm excited that I made to the Final Four of a circuit. Damn, like, what am I doing?
Independently though, with no gym.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like, I had to balance that, bro. Like, my mental had to change. Like I went from like feeling like I had to win everything on the court because we were G3 to saying, you know what, I might have to sacrifice some wins in order to show people that Xavier Booker can dribble, shoot, and pass. I might have to sacrifice some wins to show that David Merriweather can do this or that. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the part that as a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call me, man, some people ain't willing to do that. Because you lose too much, you lose that check. You lose that deal. Yeah. And that's why when people talk about, you know what I'm saying, why ain't y'all got a deal? Why ain't you got a deal? It's like, I don't even know if it's worth it, man.
Yeah, I mean, because nobody can tell you what to do or what your progress line is for your players.
That exactly. They don't tell you who to pick up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's always something to it, man. There's always something to it. I feel like the benefit of a deal is the opportunity to play against better competition. The opportunity to play against other guys that are in certain states that have a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then, like, if you're bringing in 40 schools and you're playing against another, a team FAD or a team takeover, they bring it in. You feel me? It's like, okay, there's more visual, coaches coming in to see you play. Like that part of it, you know what I'm saying? I get that part. You feel me? But all the other stuff, like I ain't into gear and shit like that, man. I ain't into all that, you know what I'm saying? All these stuff that goes with all that other stuff with a deal, man. It's just the mandatory meetings and you got to play here, you got to play there. Motherfuckers give you $25,000 for the whole season, knowing that shit costs $125,000, and they want you to make it work. And it's like, bro, if I'm gonna pay an extra $100,000, I'm gonna go where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you tell me where to go.
So let me ask you a question, Mike. My opinion that I think, with the exception of Coach Byers, in my opinion, like a legend, AAU like started back Indiana Big Red. I think a lot of the AAU and the confusion gets confused because it's too many high school coaches in the way. Like, I think they should have never gave June to the high school coaches. I think they should have left AAU coaches in there. And then I think those because the AAU coaches are busting their butt like constantly in a shorter time span. Like, just let him have June, especially because he's getting more development, more serious development, and it's for a bigger cause than just a state or a city or a sectional championship.
I think, man, you trying to get a brother all jammed up.
Oh, no.
But I still got to I still got to get kids, dog. I still got to get kids. But man, I don't, I honestly, man, I think coaches are in a very tough situation, man. I'll say this, some of these high school coaches. I think, I've said before, I probably said it to you, I think we do need to hold a lot of high school coaches more accountable. Yeah. I think that we don't, it could be white, black, whoever. I speak on every last one of them. We need to hold them. If you're going to hold me accountable, I'm fine with that.